Yeah, because all it is, I'm just sick of emergency leave, it just says other requests at the discretion.
Where are you?
I was just looking at sick and emergency leave, but it doesn't talk about if it's how many days or anything like that, so. I think it's a policy. I'm not sure. We could try and.
Well, yes,
you wanna read
you're
this
right,
again?
well, okay, let's go, maybe it is the policy.
Since we're kind of doing this at the same time.
Where GBBA, oh, I don't think I have a copy of GBBA. I'm gonna keep looking at this.
You sent me a picture of it.
I did.
Yes, after being absent for 2 consecutive days, an employee may be asked to provide a note from the medical provider confirming the need for sick leave. And I think that's in the negotiated agreement also. Let me look. Because we just passed this one in April 9th, we did the second meeting.
Right.
And because we made a couple changes to it.
Oh, so yeah, the picture that I sent to Mr. Locke did not have,
The only thing that we had changed is,
Cut off after long-term sick leave.
yeah, I'll go make a copy of this here. There was only 2 changes. We had forgot to add one paragraph that talked about your children, stepchildren, mother-in-law. We had forgot the word brothers and sisters. So we added that. And the other thing in the very first sentence, it says all licensed 12-month and full-time and part-time employees greater than 20 hours per week, prorated. Give me my chicken scratch on there.
it's somewhere else. I'm gonna find it. I know it's there. Should have looked at this one last time. Change them.
Okay, we want to take one and pass it on, the chicken scratches on the top there, of the 2 things that we had amended that night and then approved. We wanted to add the words, and part-time employees greater than 20 hours per week prorated.
So we don't have, no,
And then we added brothers and sisters in here.
does nobody have a new?
I didn't have a new one, I just,
Do you have access yet to the state school board?
I haven't even checked to see if, wait, for the policies, I haven't checked.
Well, nobody's given, because they were supposed to give like a,
Right, they haven't, they had questions as to some dates on different things or whatever, so they're still working on getting that all to them, so they don't have that done yet. So, but that was what we had approved in the meeting, when I went back and we looked at the minutes, that we added this wording up here, and we added brothers and sisters over here. But this was in here, that's where that was in here.
I guess I'm going to have to look, because I just feel confident that that verbiage is somewhere.
Well, it's right here in the policy.
Right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's,
Well, I don't think it's in the handbook, I think it was a policy.
but this is the policy. So what do we?
Right, no, you thought it was in here, I said it's in a policy.
But I know that verbiage said that the superintendent
Right,
could ask, and this doesn't say that.
Well, it says after being absent for 2 consecutive days, an employee may be asked to provide a note from their medical provider confirming the need for sick leave.
But it doesn't say that.
Oh, you're thinking because you remember that exact word. Well, who else would ask for it? I'm not gonna ask for it as a board member, that's not my job.
That's what the negotiated agreement is.
Well, then fine, then let's make the superintendent, I mean, because they have to match, and this we can't change. And I just feel like all employees should be treated the same.
No, the negotiated agreement says the board.
Oh, I suppose, true, because we hire classified. Superintendent hires and, as the other. We hire the certified. Technically, we have to approve,
Yes.
but,
So the discrepancy was, where do the principals fall? Because they're really not covered. That's what I wanted to address, because it's not clear.
yeah, and here it does say, the board may require a statement from a physician. Yeah.
That's specifically what I wanted to address. Wherever it is, I really thought it was in here somewhere, but that was
I
my,
think, if I remember right, when I looked through here, it was not in the handbook. It was the policy, and since it didn't specify, it just says employee may be asked, but we could say it in here. Because I understand that, yeah, so, because we understand that when it comes to all the the hourly people, yes, this would definitely be superintendent. We approve them, so, but we can't approve principals underneath here, because this is just for teaching staff. So maybe we should say in here, instead of an employee, maybe asked by the, I would say board or superintendent.
You almost have to do just board, and the only reason I say that is what if it's me? You know what I mean?
Oh, true,
If I'm coming down with something and I'm out for 3-4 days.
true.
or Zane. Same.
Right.
Mhm. And in the case of it, like, okay, so then if it is a principal, then that's when you could say, hey, I have a concern about this, they've been out 4 or 5 days, I have no idea. Then you could come to us and say, hey, Wade, or whoever the president is,
Yeah.
I think that at this time you should ask. So maybe ask to provide the sick leave by, how do you say by or from? The board.
But you still wanna make it so that the superintendent can ask for it from ancillary staff,
Right, you might have to make 2 sentences. So,
right?
what we should
Yep.
say after
Cause I can't imagine you want,
Employee may be asked to provide a note from their medical provider confirming the need for sick leave.
what if you just said ancillary staff would be from the superintendent and admin would be, I don't know.
Okay.
That's
You,
weird.
So we
so
could say-
basically what you're saying is certified staff, they could be asked for a letter or a note by the principal. Ancillary staff by the superintendent, administration of the board, something along those lines.
Certified staff is in the negotiated agreement
Yeah.
as it's by the board.
Right,
Okay.
but we could make this to match, so yeah, we
Well,
can
you
say.
can't change
So
it.
after being
Correct.
absent for 2 consecutive days, I'm just trying to look as to how this was. The board,
Yeah, I guess just spell it out.
the board may require, I'm just kind of going like this. It's kind of like this, the board may require a statement from a physician, may require a note from the medical provider confirming the date of sick leave. Okay, so this one could be, so should we say for all classified, does that count? If we say all classified staff? staff, does that include admins and principals, or do you want it to be specific? Should,
Well, but Zane and Mike aren't classified.
God, if we start listening, are we gonna mess?
Well, I was
Then we're gonna
gonna
have to say bus driver to
what if we say classified and admin?
True, because we kind of consider them underneath the admin umbrella.
Right. Cause that would cover then your AD, your business manager, your superintendent.
For classified and admin. And then we would basically almost do the same sentence, but then for the second one, for the non-certified, it would be superintendent. So if we would read that sentence, after being absent for 2 consecutive days, the board may require a note from the medical provider confirming the need for sick leave for classified and administration. Then the second sentence would be almost the exact same thing. It is that would say the superintendent may ask for a note, blah, blah, blah. We would start off with, we would do, after being absent for 2 consecutive days, the superintendent may require a note from the medical provider confirming the need for sick leave for, what do we want to call them? Hourly, non-certified, what do we want to call them?
Ancillary.
Okay.
Cause that's that's an umbrella for everybody.
Okay, thanks, nobody's, yeah. Okay. So, we're just changing a few things. Does that make sense, or I was kind of trying to copy what this first sentence that was here.
Right, yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah, matching that would be good.
Okay, so we'll make that into 2 sentences, we'll get that, okay.
So can we add this one for first reading? Or do we have to wait?
It would be nice to do it. So we get it all that way then too. Well, I think we can, as long as we add it ahead of time. You know, it's a policy for first reads. I don't think we can add it tonight, but you could ask Wade if you could add it to the agenda like today and just change it, right?
Right.
As long as we do it before, I think you can. And I can't remember if you could add policy meetings the night of a meeting. I don't think so. I don't know why, but I'm just thinking that's probably not good, but you could add it to.
That's probably not good.
Yeah, so if Wade doesn't mind, if you wanna see if you can add it, 'cause I think is there some other ones that were first readings or second readings?
Well, that was
I have the
something
agenda
I
in front of
wanted,
me.
that was actually something I wanted to talk about a little bit quick too, but, cause there's some that are on.
Okay. I do have an appointment at 10:30, so.
Oh gosh.
Sorry.
gosh.
I know it was the one I had
Yeah,
made like
yeah.
a month ago. Okay, so you let's do that. If there's anything else tomorrow night, we can talk about that, and we will tell them that normally we don't, but on this particular time, we're going to do the policy manual is going to be a 2 reading thing.
Yeah,
We'll,
so that we can get a final edited copy
right,
before
yes,
we
yes.
finally.
We'll talk about what we wanna add and change in there, and then we can, yes, get the second one, give time for Mike to type it up in or whatever, or something. All I know is when it came to the employees, the elementary one, I think Mike said he had pretty much had everything, you know, like he had given us that night.
Yep.
Except, I thought we were gonna get the cell
FFI.
phone policy, yeah.
Right, I think he had
He has
his,
specific verbiage in there.
he had his,
Oh.
yeah, the only thing that we'll have to change is when we get food service ones, but yeah, he had his in there. What page it was, cause that's what he had said.
It would be page 14.
Okay.
All the pages.
I know.
Yes, this one actually has pages. Oh, yes, yeah, consequences for device violation, he had his in there.
Actually, it starts up on 13 according to this.
Yeah, you're right, so. So we could look at that, you know, again before tonight, and that's where I would like to have them, is in the handbook, so that way, I guess, we don't have to change, so. So that helps with that one, if you had other questions, but we could look at that.
There, I'd like to see the changes made, and then, again, I'd like to see the changes made, and, but for the most part, I was good with this one.
Yeah, because I think it was just with the names in there. Is he going, I know he's gone, is he gonna be even like on like Zoom or anything
I think
tomorrow?
he's gone through today. So
Oh, he might be back.
he'll be back tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Kelly knows.
That's what I
We have a
understood.
meeting tomorrow or so.
Yeah. All right, so the only other thing is if Kelly has anything, I'll let him talk about his high school and if he's got things or whatever.
Except I have a whole load of stuff to talk about this.
On which one?
Oh,
Oh, the high school.
the high school.
Oh, well, that's okay, you guys can go ahead, I mean, like I said, we aren't making motions, so if I have to leave at 10:30, that's fine, this is all just about, are we passing it to the board or not, and so far the only one was just that GACG.
Okay.
So we can start on that one, if, I don't know if he's got a new one for us.
First thing is Kathy Walsh is missing on the teachers. And she's the only one.
That's probably because he already had changed it, I bet, before she rescinded it.
And Deb's still there, but
Yeah, I have Deb removed, I added Franz, and I will go Cat Walsh,
wait, who's Franz?
music teacher.
Oh, that's the, okay. Wait, that's the, is that new?
Is that's J one?
Is that
That's
on,
the J1.
is that on the agenda?
I mean, has everything gone, I mean,
As far as I know,
Yeah, still going through the process. I haven't
yeah,
heard much
I mean,
in the
so
last few days.
that one could change yet or whatever,
Right.
if it's still, yeah, I don't think anything's been set in stone was the last, I guess, what I had asked. We're still working on it.
Would we be approving it before it's set in stone?
well, we approved back in, it was approved to move forward with the,
Or it's changing
Yeah,
the
one
name,
change.
I guess that's,
yeah,
you know, that would be something that, because the handbook isn't a policy anyway.
No.
You know, so it's just that we kind of approve them, that we've read them or whatever, but they aren't a policy, so we don't have to have second readings on handbooks. We've always just passed them because we read them, so he could make a change to a name.
Well, right, no, yeah, I get that. Under the disclaimer, I'm just being nitpicky, okay?
that's fine.
And it says, like the third sentence, to act like a young adult. So either A has to go or S has to go.
This is on.
Also on there, and I don't know, I don't know if you wanna do this or not, but issues that arise that are not covered in this handbook will be handled at the discretion of Harvey Public School Administration within the guidelines of board policy.
There's gonna be stuff that comes up that's not gonna be specific in board policy either, so I don't think you wanna be that specific in here.
Fair, okay,
Because I have to follow board policy no matter what.
yeah, that's true.
So I can just make it more restrictive or more specific.
And I'm not sure why or what, but the objectives on yours and the objectives on the handbook, I think it's the handbook, aren't the same. So I'm not sure which we want, but
So the objectives on my handbook compared to which one?
I
The
believe
policy
it was the
personnel?
policy, yeah.
It could be that I maybe had an older version that I copied it from.
Yeah, or it could be that you use something that's newer that we haven't put in here. I don't know which.
Well, which would be better?
I haven't delved into them deep enough to know that. Right, yeah, they
And you said under the objectives?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's, I don't know how to handle that. Just wanted to point it out.
Okay, I'll highlight the, under the objectives and I'll take a look at that.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I thought that was the kind of, okay, under the page 8, under the credits, it says 3 units of laboratory science. I think we should say biology because biology is the one science that's required per century code. And actually, it's for physical science.
Okay. So 3 units of laboratory science.
One of which must be physical science.
One of which must be biology.
Right. It's the way I read it is biology is a must, and then you need to have physical science or physics. So I don't know.
He could highlight that and maybe check that then too, maybe, huh?
I mean, I can't imagine anybody.
Those are required classes. I know they are.
And then I thought that other thing should be included. This actually probably means we need to change, update policy. I didn't pull that. But the 3 units of foreign languages, Native American, fine arts, or career and technical ed. That kind of should be there as well.
Under the high school, the state ones, or under ours?
Well, it does say it under the state, and I was thinking it should be in some form under ours. Maybe just that sentence. Well, we don't have Native Americans, so I would put that. Although technically they could.
Yeah, I suppose they could take it online.
I didn't even realize that was a requirement. That must have been added at some point.
That's been there for a while.
Okay, so I'll add that under ours. Do we have, is it in our board policy that way for high school teachers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's, so
I
that
can't
is-
add it until board policy changes.
There's another board policy, we gotta.
Well, and it might not be, yeah.
And what we could do is it tomorrow, if we could just look at this and not approve it yet, so then that way we'd have time to pull out that other policy.
Well, and since they're under the North Dakota State High School graduation, we have to follow them, so it would be redundant to put it under ours, but we can.
You're right.
Right.
Those are.
True, it's listed under the state one, so that's true, so that way we
Yeah.
don't have to.
Right, but people are gonna look at this.
But they should be looking at both.
Well, I don't.
Right, and I know some don't, but they should be, because it's, you also have to know what the state requires too.
So then on the, I asked my kid about this because I was a little bit confusing. But the college-bound student athlete information, just maybe a suggestion to write out what those are because I have no clue. And
Those
like,
change consistently, so that's why we put the websites in there to follow and go through.
I just meant the NCAA and the NAIA, just the acronyms is all I mean.
Oh, okay.
And Grant told me if you're a student athlete, you know what those are. So
Yeah,
why do you wanna come in here so bad, Bird?
Must have won that with us.
yeah, because your NC, yeah, that's just your college conference that you're in. So for example, Jamestown was NAIA, but they're going to NCAA division.
Division 2.
Yeah.
Zane.
Okay.
Here's your little
Thank
cheat sheet.
Sorry, yeah, that was just a thought. Just because I looked at it and said, what the heck is this? Page 12.
Okay.
Okay, so, I wish Collette didn't have to leave. On the dual credit, it says that numerous colleges or opportunities are available for numerous colleges and universities. And then it says at the top of the next page, through Lake Region State. So I just wanted clarification on how that, like, can we get it through other colleges and universities?
So how it is, there is dual credit course opportunity because, I mean, we have to state that other colleges have it other than Lake Region. And then when we go under dual credit, we offer ours specifically through Lake Region State College. So we're stating exactly what our high school offers and what you don't need prior exception for because you're taking it in-house.
Okay, so if they were to do through a different college or university,
They would have to get dual credit, to get high school and college credit, they would have to have approval through myself, and if they don't get it, then they work their way up the line. Conversations I typically have with parents on this is, okay, if your kid is taking medical terminology, they're more worried about the college credit than the high school credit. Why do you care if they're getting dual credit? Because you're prepping for college. If I'm taking a college physics class, why does it matter if I get high school college physics credit along with it? You're still going to have enough credits to graduate Harvey High School.
so would it be a dumb idea to say, to just say, put a statement there about, you know, if you're interested in this, talk to the principal?
It's under our dual credit on page 13. Page 13.
So you mean what students may take college courses?
At their own expense, prior permission from the principal, as well as completion of all is required for acceptance of credits for meeting graduation requirements. Because we're spelling out what our graduation requirements are for Harvey High School.
Okay, so just to clarify, if they are planning to go to BSc and they want to do dual credit of English through BSc specifically because they're concerned for some reason about the transfer or whatever, I'm just throwing that out there, they can't do that.
They would have to have prior approval. But if they're looking at taking so here's my thing, is say they're looking at taking English 110. We offer English 110 in-house with college credit that will transfer to any college in the state of North Dakota. Why would I have a student get a graduation requirement from an online course from a different college?
Right, I get that, except if the parent is insistent.
But then the problem is, like, my concern is we're going to set up a precedent where all of a sudden, okay, so let's say Malachi, you decide, I want him taking online algebra, I want him taking online English, I want him taking online science, and he is going to graduate from Harvey High School not taking a single core course through us. And then us, as administrators, have to go to the state and say, why are our test scores not good, but we're not educating those kids. I want them in-house where we have our teachers that we evaluate, that we train, doing as much as possible for our kids. And we're not removing an opportunity because the English 110 is English 110. So they have that opportunity. Now, if they were taking, for me to deny like a college physics, that would not be smart because we don't offer college physics in-house. We don't have control over that. We don't have that opportunity. So then that would be different.
But you're saying that would be a college course, not a dual credit, because
Well, and like this last year, I just went off what our handbook has. So for example, we had kids taking college speech through Lake Region. And Lake Region called it dual credit, and I had a parent call, well, they're not getting dual credit. I said, according to where it is, they have to have prior approval. We didn't do it because we don't operate in-house. And I said, why are you taking the course to begin with? Well, to get their college coursework out. You're getting the college credit. Having speech on your high school transcript is less important than having the college credit. Now, like English, like you're talking about, that's a requirement for high school graduation. Same with I think English would be the only one that would fall in, because I don't think we have any other that have 4 years of, like college algebra doesn't fall in, college calculus doesn't fall in, pre-calc doesn't fall in. The only one that we would have a concern with is for specifically high school graduation requirements.
English specifically.
Yep. Because this is us towards the graduation requirements needing that prior approval.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if it could be clarified a little bit, but I'm not sure what I would change either, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Actually moving back.
Okay.
To page 12. Last day of, number 1, last day of full registration, or fall registration of what?
Course registration, I'm assuming.
Is that ours or theirs? That's all ours. Our fall registration.
Last day.
CDE
Yep.
theoretically does not have specific dates for registration. If you wanted to take a welding course through CDE, you could start it on the 11th of November if you wanted to.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're putting specific dates in that are going to make us either have to pay for it or take it on their own expense.
Sure.
Because we don't, we can have it like all of a sudden somebody's 4 weeks in, oh, I want to drop this class and I want to take welding because I don't want to take A from Mr. Deck, and here you have to go pay for it through CDE, where if we say you have to register by our registration dates for us to cover it, then okay, you can do this, but you're responsible for the expense.
So you want to clarify that just
Yep,
by
yep,
going
yep.
HHS fall registration?
Yep, right now. High school fall registration. Okay.
Then on the next page, under registration,
Okay.
it talks about pre-registration. And this is just, honestly, this is more of a personal thing than a board thing, but I'm guessing I'm not the only one. It says in-depth parental consultation is also advised, but that happens without parents knowing about it unless the kid comes home.
Yeah. Typically the parent consultation happens in the fall when we finalize the schedule. Our spring one is just to get an idea what courses do we need to schedule in there. They're not set in stone.
Yeah, I do know that, but I also know that you use it to make your schedule.
We do, but you know, we can send out like these are the courses we're doing for registration. Please have conversations. I can be better about that.
Just something like that. That's
Yep.
all I'm like. This is when we're doing this now because everybody knows it's coming, but we don't know when it is. And
Yep. Yeah, I can do that on my side, sending out a notice. We are getting ready for our spring registration. Please have a conversation with your kids what you would like them to sign up for.
something like that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Great. Next page, just that needs to be, the second line needs to be changed to 25, 26, I assume.
Yep. Yeah, and I gotta double check the dates.
Yeah.
too. Yeah. I think I had all of this done before I went down to NBCEL convention, so there might be some date issues in here yet.
I don't care, I don't know what it is. Oh, okay. When you're ready.
Okay,
On page 16, then it talks about determining promotion and retention. And I was just wondering, because on page 11, you have the classification of what constitutes, I mean, is that
so
part of?
So 11 is strictly high school, that classification, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is going to apply to the junior high, 7th and 8th that doesn't have a classification and an advancement. Because your high school has to earn credits, junior high does not. So this gives us some pieces in there for the kids that have an excessive amount of absences, the kids that are not succeeding well, and we've been having these conversations that we do have an option for retention at that point. But otherwise we don't.
Okay. Only thing on page 17, is report cards available through Power School. I just looked, just because I was curious, they're no longer available?
They're gone when we do the school rollover in June.
Okay, so should it,
So then I can add in there or through the school secretary, because we can still do paper ones through them or email a PDF of that.
okay, that would be good, and then maybe you could say until June.
See, and that date's not set
That date's
until,
not set,
that's
okay.
not set until I have this spring, Power School sets their spring stuff, when they're gonna do it. And honestly, next year when we go to interim campus, I don't know if they'll even have rollover dates or anything, so.
Okay, so we'll just have to leave that.
But do you want me to add in there, it's also available
Yes.
through the school secretary?
Yep.
Okay.
And then page 18 is my dead horse that I'm gonna keep beating.
Okay,
About attendance.
yep,
I'm still confused as to, like, for the Harvey High School attendance matrix, what days are counted?
so, basically what we did is that, your excused are gonna be your school events and your medical emergencies or funerals. Your unexcused is everything else. So these days here, these absence days are for your essentially unexcused. So if you take a day to go shopping, if you are sick but didn't go to the doctor for medical, when it goes towards this. And I know people,
That a lot.
I know people get hung up on it, and it is a challenge, and I look at it this way. So on this, if you're missing up to 10 days before anything even happens, you've already missed 10% of your semester. You know, everybody wants to go and look at this. This is 10 days outside of it. So, for example, if you have a volleyball player, they might miss 15 days due to games, and then you're giving them another 10 days that there's still no consequences, like they were sick, they went on a family vacation, they did whatever. You could be missing up to 25% of your school year without any consequence if you're involved in activities.
Well, here's my issue with it, just to be
Yep.
devil's advocate or
No,
whatever,
that's good.
is that, let's say you're sick a day or two, have another, I don't know, who knows, an appointment or whatever that you have to leave school. And you go on a trip for gonna go to 4-H because that's what which there are 5-day trips. Okay, you're already getting harassed when it's, I mean, to me, I still will maintain that 4-H should have, I know you can't give it the exact same, but it's got every bit of value that all the sports do.
Yep. We talked about doing that. We talked about doing an exemption for 4-H for your kids that are in basketball that are doing travel basketball on a team that they had to try out for dance because we don't offer dance, but they're on a dance team or something like that, and giving them a couple days exemptions on that as well. It just got really large, and where do you draw the line on what you can say? I get that. I don't know where we draw the line when we're looking at, okay, we're talking about this policy goes 10 days, we're already talking about 10% of your semester that you're missing, and you could actually miss up to 15 without having any consequences of your credit being taken away because you can make up 5 days worth as well. I don't know where, as a board, you want to say how many days do we consider it okay. I mean, 10 days is 2 weeks out of your semester already. That's a lot of content to be missing. And I understand, like, you go, say you have, because I've done it before, we have a vacation in October. We go in October, that's when it works for us, whatever, and then my kid gets sick, misses 3, 4, or 5 days. In here, that's why these are possible actions. Like, it gives us some leeway in what we can do. Like, hey, you plan this trip, you didn't plan on getting sick 4 days, we come in and we can work stuff out. Like, this will happen, this is definite.
So is that looked at before this letter is sent out and said, hey, your kid is?
Typically, I don't know why, I get the list of absences, they'll say, Vanessa Anderson, this many absences, I'll send the letter, and then on there they can contact me. And I've had parents come in and say, okay, this is where we missed, I forgot this documentation, they bring this, and then we make all the changes. And that's where we go.
And there has to be a fine line between excused and unexcused absences. If your parent calls in and just says, Tommy's not gonna be in school today, we can't count every single one of those as an excused absence just because a parent calls in, if that makes sense.
And I get that because that ties your hands,
Yeah.
right? It makes it so that when the parent is excusing behavior that shouldn't, absences that shouldn't be, and I get that. I understand how that's a difficult.
And I used this past year with a couple of students and the parents. We got to that 10 with their ability to make up time because we had a couple that were having attendance issues, and the parents came in and they were fine. The kids made up the days, they made up the time, like they were okay with everything. They understood. We had these conversations, like what's going on. But then I had a different one where they were having some mental health issues. And we had a conversation, and then what we worked out is, okay, I understand you can't do this. So then I said, when I hear from the mom, when I heard from her that, hey, this person's taking a mental health day, we had so many in a month that they could take that I would count as excused. And I worked it out specifically with that student because that's what this language lets me do.
So is there any leeway, is there any consideration, I don't know what I want to ask, for, okay, if you have a straight A student, does it matter?
Well, it depends. Like you're saying, like if it's a 4-H thing, of course, I'm not going to go, hey, we're going to pull your credit because you left for 4-H for 4 days, or I went to this conference with my dad for this sort of thing. Like obviously, we're gonna take that 100% into consideration. But if you've got a straight A student and they miss 13 days because they don't want to get out of bed, this is going to apply.
Yeah.
I don't have any, but.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, and that's where we're kind of looking at, because the problem. So, for example, PE. Can you miss 15 days of PE and still have an A or a B in the class? Yeah. But should we be awarding credit to that because they've missed a percentage of the time where these other kids have to put it in.
Right, that PE I totally understand, just like, okay, if you're in physics, you miss 10 days of school, do you have to make up time if you have an
I typically, I guess this is my first year here, but in my other position as a teacher, if a kid can miss 10 days and have an A, they've made up all the work up to it.
Right.
But your typical ones that are going to miss 10 days, they're consistently gone, they're going to be your CD on your failure students. I mean, that type of rigor, it's really hard to make that and continue to learn and keep that and across the board.
But you do have that flexibility in here.
That's why it's the possible actions may include, but are not limited to. That may in there allows us to do some different things in there. If it says these are the consequences, then I have none. But adding may is administrative. Excuse me, administrative direct discretion.
And you need that.
Okay,
Is that?
that clarifies it
And I know-
significantly, actually.
I know we get the question all the time. Well, I called them in. Isn't it excused? Well, and I look through multiple different handbooks, and people kind of break it down more and more on what's what, and I'm just, I don't know. I don't know how specific you want me to be. I can.
6 pages to this handbook, going through those specific
Oh,
circumstances.
I do understand that, I do.
And my big thing is I want kids here.
Yeah, they need to be here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Page 21 then. Under tardies, I just think, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, but on the first sentence, should it be, if reporting after class begins and within the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, I can do that.
That's easy enough.
Yep.
And then just for my clarification, under number 3, where it says, the remainder of the semester, a minimum of 6 weeks, whichever is longer, I assume that's just applying for the first semester.
Yeah.
The resets, right?
Yep.
After the semester.
So
Yeah, because we wouldn't, so like second semester, they wouldn't start the fall in SLT. No.
that backpack thing, is that a new thing?
That is, so when we had the whole there's 3 reasons this came about. Number 1, we knew the electronic device part was coming. Number 2, we have our younger kids now that, I get a backpack, I'm not going to use my locker, and they're putting everything in their backpack.
Why I asked, because my kid carried around his books for the first, I don't know how many months.
Yep. And then the third thing is, and this mostly is our younger group, is when they have all that and the classrooms are full and there's no place to be, you can't lock down, it's kind of a hazard. So we met kind of as a staff and decided if we're going to go device free, and part of the option is, okay, the device is stored there, it stays in their locker, and we don't have to worry about it like, it's here and they're connected to it.
So is that the plan, is that it stays in there?
So the one thing that we visited before we brought Mr. Loff on board in the policy, because we talked at NDCEL as well. High school is kind of different in the fact that we could have 30, 40 kids coming in 3 minutes before the bell. And if you have a location, like say you have a lockbox or something, you're never going to get those kids through, locking their device and get them to class on it. So then we talked about the opportunity, because the law states that it needs to be secured and unable to be accessed. Okay? Our hallways, all of them have cameras in them. So if most of the kids that I figure are going to drive here, they're going to leave their phone in their vehicle. But then your bus kids are going to have some place to put them. Connie will still, I figured we can either put that out, or Mr. Loff was looking into some other options where they place their device in there. But if they have the opportunity, I have my phone off. it's in my backpack, zipped up, they feel comfortable, it kind of relieves some of that anxiety rather than us holding on to it, because I saw a lot of that anxiety issue, like, what if it breaks, what if somebody grabs my phone, what if this? So in the policy in there, we added, like, if I'm walking down the hall and I hear a phone going off in a locker, I'm gonna figure out what locker it is, I'm gonna get the kid, and they're gonna fall under the consequences for it.
Okay, we'll talk about that more when we get to
Okay,
that part.
sounds good. But yes, this is new.
Okay, I like it because I was genuinely concerned about his back. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
you never put any books, I see your backpack is so heavy, why, what are you doing? Well, it's always all in here. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah.
I might have to change the prices on page 22. I don't know if you guys have approved lunch,
That's
breakfast.
gonna be talked about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
And 20.
oh, yeah, that'll have to change 20.
Oh, on page 23, I was wondering if you should add online to where they can find the bullying policy. Maybe not, because I don't know if you can find it online yet, but
That second bullet point under reporting, file an online report form.
no, right under, this is a summary of the bullying policy. Parents may view its entirety by contacting the office.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it's available online yet, but it needs to get online anyway,
Yeah.
so. I'm just thinking Connie might appreciate that.
Potentially.
Okay.
And then page 24, I'm just gonna throw this out there, I think that female shorts is way too short.
So that's where we were as well. And we brought in student council to have this conversation. The reason I did is I've got a daughter at home and I'm in the same boat as you. For them to find shorts that are beyond this is nearly impossible for these kids. This was mostly a student-driven change for that length, that the girls are comfortable with, that our teachers were comfortable with making that exception. And a big one that it applies to are your long-bodied kids. So for example, if you think of, who did we have in there? Well, we had Emerson Wolf, you know Emerson? Okay, or like Taylor Nelson would be really tall. Who else would have been tall that you know? Anyhow, those long ones, they're small girls, so they buy a medium. Well, for them to be mid-thigh length, they won't find a pair of mediums that are going to be mid-thigh length unless they're buying boys' gym shorts.
Well, I get the thigh length, but honestly, I mean, this is a short girl thing. But for me, my underwear come down here for crying out loud.
Well, and that's where we have, you still can't see the undergarment. So when we talked mid palm, we talked right about like right where the thickness of your thumb is. So like if I were to stand up, you know, it's coming down mid thigh on me. So, I know. I'm 100% with you on it. I have my daughter at home, and that's why we brought in student council to help us advise on this, because we had so many kids that were dress code and they're like, I don't even feel I can wear shorts now because it's not coming here and this is what I buy, and you know. So we wanted to go where we were, fingertip. They wanted to go to the bottom of the palm, and we made a
Compromise.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So you're at this part of the palm, or you at
So
this?
like we're gonna explain it like right where your top of where your thumb starts.
Oh, that is right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was asking, is which way.
You're adding 2 inches, essentially.
It varies by.
Right, but if it
person.
was fingertips, it's like, you know, but even today,
That's 3 inches.
yeah, at least.
It does, And it's hard. I
It
mean,
is.
it is, like, you've got daughter, it is hard to find shorts that'll meet this requirement still too.
They realize it, but yeah, it's like, oh, those dresses.
Yeah.
I do as well, they would ever wear anything that short in their life, but I am fortunate. Okay, next. It's page 25. What did I want? Oh, we talked about this and never came back to it, but this is a little different. And I was gonna look at policy FFE. The district prohibits student presence at gathering where alcohol, tobacco, or controlled substance is being illegally used. Now, this goes on to say that the principal or superintendent can take into consideration. Because we talked about this situation with like a wedding reception. Let's say Malachi is at my daughter's wedding reception, knows there's kids there drinking illegally, but is he really gonna leave? But it does say whether or not the student had a reasonable
So-
opportunity.
Right. And I look at it, this is the way that I would interpret it. Illegally used is where the whole purpose is being illegally used, not going to a wedding reception and then a 19, 20-year-old is underage drinking, or you're at a street dance and they're,
You can't,
yeah. I guess I would not enforce it that way. Now, if they're at a wedding dance and the kid's a senior and they're standing there with another kid that's just graduated, they need to walk away.
you can walk away, but yeah, we didn't require that they have to do it.
So,
Because all of these places, like your wedding reception, stuff like this is not intended to be illegally used.
and there is a cop there, so it's not the kids.
Right, yes,
Right.
yeah, that's different.
I think we might have to change this.
Okay. Oh, your policy or mine?
Ours. No, never mind, it's exactly the same. Did we change that?
I think, because that was one I know we really discussed a lot, I think, when we went through that one this past.
Yeah, we must have. Okay,
Okay, well, that's good.
yes,
To see
that's
that,
good.
that matches. Yes.
Okay, I'll do it, okay, good. Next page is just a typo.
Okay.
Under practice, so 26, under practice and travel while suspended, first sentence, to practice and travel to home games.
Students who are under suspension are encouraged to practice and. So instead of and traveling to home games, travel.
Travel.
Okay.
While I think we need more discussion on flex mod, this is not the time. Question on the free gun zone. Does 1,000 feet get you to the curb?
I don't know if it is, but I believe that's public law and I can't change that wording.
I think so, I think it is 1,000 feet. We'd have to look, Google that one too, or whatever, but I
I'm
think-
curious because they understanding, I know among the kids, is that if they park.
Across the street off school property.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's just been like that for.
Got a co-op question here, why, on page 30. What am I asking myself? Oh, I'm asking about leaving the school school during the day, what about co-op?